Friends, how are you? Having a great day, I hope. Well, here we go. You know what I mean? I did this one the other day. Obviously, it's a sort of a website, but if you watch it, obviously, it's a bit about police today and their corruption of Freemasonic for corruption, because the Freemasons are the shush up crew against all profane people. You will never, ever see justice against a Freemason. Do you know what I mean? If you're up against Freemasonry, their monolithic nation of people will shush their because they're within the temple. We're without the temple. We're in the north. Do you know what I mean? So you're never going to see justice. But what you got to realise is, with these freak masons, do you know what I mean? They can get your lives. They can keep arresting you and doing all these little tricks. See, when they get arrested, this is what happened. People don't realise, yeah? Even if they can't shush the crime up, right? Yeah, and they get arrested, right? They go, oh, we've arrested him, boom, boom. It doesn't matter. That's the first line of defence for Freemasonry, whether their brothers can help their case to get it shut down or closed down, yeah? Boom. That's the first line of defence. The second line of defence is when they go to court. Then if they've got a Masonic judge on the bench, there's another chance they can, like, get bail and then get off at court with the lightest sentence. Do you know what I mean? Because their brother Freemason judge, yeah. So again, when they're working in the court, even if the judge isn't a Freemason, yeah, the prosecutor and the defence, yeah, even though they're brothers, will go into the back room, yeah, and they'll persuade the judge, yeah, give him bail, he seems okay, boom, boom, boom. So he gets bail. Do you know what I mean? That's the second line of their defence, okay? That they will be treated unfairly over the profane. Do you know what I mean? They won't, they've got more chances of getting bail and preference to us, the profane, yeah? So there's that case. Even if the judge isn't a Freemason, the people, like the prosecution or the defence or whatever, yeah, they're all Masonic brothers. They go into the back room, yeah, they go, that's why they say to you, go down into the cells again while we debate what to do with you, blah, 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 yeah. And then the Freemasons in there are going to speak in good turn for their brother, do you know what I mean, and get him bail. So that's the second line of defence. Now, let's say, for instance, again, the judge will turn around, if he is a Freemason, he'll say, oh, I want you back up here in 3 weeks. That guarantees then he goes under that judge and he's protected by that judge who's a Freemason. Do you see what I mean? No one else who's profane within the judge system is going to take that case because he's put his name to it. Do you see what I mean? So it's never impartial or fair to us. Do you know what I mean? It's always fair and impartial to them. So that's the second line. So when he finally gets up there, now if he's really caught like sort of banker rights, the judge, like I said, will try and give him a leaner sentence, blah blah blah. But if he can't, for obvious reasons, he's done a murder, blah blah blah, he'll still sentence him, yeah, right. But the problem there again, when he goes to the jail, yeah, his third line of defence is he will get parole early, and he will get sent to an easier jail. Yeah, there's actually, if you check, yeah, and I can't do the numbers on it, and I can't do the, what they call it, like the. Let me scroll down a bit here so you can read a bit more of this, because this isn't really the, this here. I should talk about it, but I'll just go like that so you can read it. The point of the matter is that he'll get sent to an easier jail, yeah, and he will get, that'll be a Masonic jail where the brothers are working through the system, because if you check, they're, and I'll show you a bit later on where they use, it doesn't matter what industry you're in, they have lodges for it, So there's, obviously we know there's lodges for Freemasons, there's lodges for judges, there's lodges for banks, blah blah blah, yeah. In a minute, I'm going to show you they've got lodges for railway men as well, because they're the industry that moves everything, and truckers and all the rest of it, yeah. So anyway, so then he's got a good chance of getting parole, okay, because the people making and writing the reports, yeah, are more than likely the governor's a Freemason, half the frigging jail top star people who got the badge and all the rest of it, assistant governor and that are all Freemasons, so he's going to get a good report anyway, yeah, as a model prisoner, as they say, yeah. Now, so he's good. So at the end of the day, he's always going to get good preference, get out of jail free cards and all the rest of it, yeah? Where a profane person, Ian, he's going to go up in front of the judge, do you know what I mean? They're going, he's profane, who gives a shit, bang, put him away, dun dun. Do you know what I mean? And it don't matter what jail you send them to, fucking it doesn't really fucking matter. He's profane, blah blah. And parole, you know what I mean? Whatever, blah blah. And if you're a marked targeted individual, you will go to a really bad jail, and the crime lords within your town and city can actually pay to have you done within that jail. Do you know what I mean? But that's another story. Anyway, let's move along for today. And this is what Freemasonry does. I hope you've been reading that. But this isn't about what it's done. It's just to show you that I did this post the other day. You know what I mean? And then if you go watch it, you can watch the video and all the other stuff. And if you click the links on it, that'll take you to the, you know, the actual video and other pieces of it, you know what I mean? But again, it's all about a Masonic shush up, yeah? Because they're Freemason brothers, do you know what I mean? Remember, if they start catching these people, the first thing that come out of these Freemasons' mouth is I'm going to, you know, I'm going to speak, you're coming down with me, because the whole system is blackmail, do you know what I mean? So they're always paying, you know, and blackmailing each other just to get that, you know, so long as they keep that system of where we're eternally good and better than anyone else, that's all that fucking matters, do you know what I mean? And like I said, you got to go down to your lodges, look at some of the cars they drive, go in there, just go in there as a general fucking profane person, yeah? They'll sign you, they'll give you signs and that, yeah, but you will get treated different, I guarantee it, yeah? You just try it, you know what I mean? Just go into their pubs and their clubs and what have you, and you'll see you'll be treated completely different, yeah? They think they're above you. And like I said, they're the shopkeepers and the whatever, the magistrates are your shopkeepers and all that. So they think they're better than you anyway, and they're privileged because I own a fucking shop. I'm better than you, do you know what I mean? And I'm part of this fraternity, do you know what I mean, of shush up crew. The rest, half of them anyway, yeah, what are in there are just there as a ring of protection for the corrupt what are in the middle, you know, doing all the other naughty stuff around your town and your city, right? Anyway, so I don't want to lay too much on this, but look this up. I've done a video, I did a post on it, but it's just about how they shush up, you know, crimes, you know, and you know, it doesn't matter when you go to tribunals. The tribunals are actually run by Freemasons, because every avenue of escape or investigation, yeah, is always run by Freemasonry, because they don't want any wild cards. You know what I mean? They want to have that ability to control that, you know, and that's why they keep, you know, that's why we keep living in this crappy system of Freemasons that run everything, but they just don't do it. They do it behind hidden uniforms, like police uniforms, MP uniforms, Prime Minister uniforms, presidents, governors, you know, things like that. They just don't come out in their aprons. But if they did, and we made them wear their aprons, who's in charge, you just think you're being run by Romans, you know what I mean? They're everywhere, literally. And there's, you know, like I said, they own it and control it all. Anyway, let's move along, my profane brothers, you know what I mean? I just want to show you this, look, there'll be many consecrations and Masonic lodges for railway men, yeah? Railway companies, yeah, because they own all the railways, if you didn't know. So anyway, look, history, look, the railway lodge in England, or England districts, you see. And then there's the South West Lost. You can go to this yourself and have a look, just put in railway lodges, you know what I mean? But can you see the heraldry, yeah, of each one, yeah? That's the heraldry of it, and you can see it, and this is what you're fighting against all the time, whether it's a football team, do you know what I mean? Again, go look at your local football teams, you'll see they're all run by Freemasons, you know what I mean? And that's what football teams are, the heraldry of what you're representing. The football team represents the Masonic lodges, do you know what I mean? And that's all it is. You know, Masonic lodges playing Masonic lodges, and they're fiddling like buggers. Anyway, that's another story. But look, see? These are all for people on the rails, you know what I mean? So, like I said, it don't matter what it is. You can have, you know, they got Masonic lodges for lorries. Do you know what I mean? Whatever that industry is, yeah, they've got a Masonic lodge for it, yeah, including, like I said, the police, MPs, judges, magistrates. Do you know what I mean? The Scientific Lodge. Gooch Lodge. Oh, Bertie. Oh, I remember Bertie. I remember, oh, Bertie. Well, anyone who knows Bertie, you know what I mean? Bertie Gooch. He was a local lad here. Top dude, like, you know what I mean? He helped me in a lot of ways, that man. You know what I mean? What went up wrong in his bedroom up one time in his bedroom, do you know what I mean? What's not supposed to be known about? Shh, that's like a 35-year-old shush up, that is, I think. That fucking, what went up in that bedroom in Bertie Gooch's. Anyway, that's another story. Because I weren't the one who got betrayed, you know what I mean? Anyway. And they're supposed to be Masonic brothers, you know what I mean? Do not covert with your Masonic brother's wife. Anyway, that's another story. Iron Road Lodge, the Great Eastern Lodge. But do you notice, you know, how all the emblems, yeah, or the emblems or the heraldies of them, do you know what I mean? It's always the same. That, see, Freemasonry can't help itself. It's always the same. You know what I mean? Always the same. But if you notice them, you'll notice this heraldry, yeah? You'll find it on all your local villages, or you'll find it on your local towns, yeah? Because they can't because that's what Freemasonry represents, do you know what I mean? The lords, the dukes and the earls, do you know what I mean? And that's why when you see this heraldry, yeah, obviously notice the star there, okay? Because like I said, as above, so below pyramids, look. And then we know it's 232. You know what I mean? We know it's 666. We also know it's 13. Do you know what I mean? 13 three times. Anyway, you have to look at my videos to know what all that means. But that's what I mean. See, so they've got all these lodges, different types and various of the infrastructure of so when there's like a rail strike, it's not a rail strike it's a rail strike headed by Freemasonry. Same as when they have a truck drivers strike, that's headed by, because they own the trucks and they own the trains and the infrastructure. They're the ones doing the strikes, yeah? Not the profane, because the profane people, believe it or not, are timid. You know what I mean? They don't do that stuff, yeah? And they don't get together. Show me anywhere. They don't, you know what I mean? This is all, when you have a rail strike or there's food shortages and, you know, and they say, oh, the trucks can't get here and the trucks can't get there and all that bollocks. That's done purposely by Freemasons under a planned position to gain something. Do you know what I mean? That's what that is, yeah? All right, and that's a fact. Do you know what I mean? So when you see strikes going off and all the rest of it, that's to do with Freemasonry, like the bird's eye strike here, yeah? That was all to do with Freemasons, do you know what I mean? You know? And they were forerunning it, the position of it. In the end, anyway, bird's eye come out of here and went to Lowestoft, do you know what I mean? That was due to Freemasons, do you know what I mean? On the strike. Anyway, let's carry on. You know what I mean? Brother in the shadows. Again, look, here we go, look. This is my post, these are, and I'm getting into some, like, you know, murders in a minute of policemen, you know what I mean? But I think were made to look like suicide, yeah, because they knew too much, do you know what I mean? Because, like, if you do your research, you'll find that the police are just as corrupt, dealing drugs and murder as anyone else, do you know what I mean? Especially those Freemason ones. Anyway, that's another story, and we'll get to there soon, my profane friends. Look, it's just not Westminster where Freemasons still have influence. For half a century, police forces in Britain have been accused of being swayed by secret societies, and we know they are. But what are we doing about it? Nothing, because they still control your police stations, they still control Parliament, they still control Westminster, yeah? In fact, they've got two lodges, look. See? In Westminster, see what I mean? And then you can go through this post. I'm not going to go through it for your own, because you can go to my forum and it's in the Illuminati and Freemasonry within the UK #2, look, yeah? Okay, so I'm not going to go through the post. Then I'll you know, there's some memes and stuff from corrupt police, you know what I mean? And in page 183 of the Masonic handbook states, right, and I can get that, I've got the book here, wherever you see any of our signs made by a brother Mason in court or in the police cells, blah, 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 or in a jail, and especially the grand hailing sign of distress, you must always be sure to obey them. See that? Obey. You have to obey because they're an army, yeah? And there's a ranking system. And if you disobey that order, you will be punished within their internal courts, within their lodges, okay? Even at the risk of your life. If you're on a jury and the defendant is a Mason and makes the grand hailing sign, you must obey it. You must disagree with your brother jurors if necessary, but you must be sure not to bring the Mason guilty, for that would bring disgrace upon our order. And that's the thing with it. You see, you wouldn't even know, right, that they've done the grand hailing sign of distress, yeah? Because at the end of the day, it has to be secretive because they don't want to bring that disgrace on their order. Do you see what I mean? And that's what it's all about, you know what I mean? Just keeping themselves clean all the time, yeah? Do you know what I mean? Again, look, you must conceal, this is in their books, nothing to do with me, you must conceal all crimes, including paedophilia, of your brother Masons, except especially murder and treason, and they're at your own option. And should you be summoned as a witness against a brother Mason, be always sure to shield him. Prevaricate, don't tell the truth in this case, keep his secrets, forget the importance points. It may be perjury to do this, true, but you are keeping your obligation, yeah? Now, the thing with that is, remember, right, they have to keep it in their breast. It doesn't matter if they're sacked or whatever, as long as they've done the job, because the lodge will look after them. Like I said, they're on a wage anyway, and even if they get sacked, the lodge will guarantee them another job anyway, because they control all the jobs. Do you see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if he's sacked or caught, because the Freemasons will look after him. Oh. So he knows he's in for an easy ride, because they own the, like I said, they own the system. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, let's go. Right. And again, you can come and read it. You know, you can read it yourself. All the scripts, yeah. And then, like, he talks about the Hillsborough, yeah, where the Freemasons shushed that up for years and years. Then Freemasons put them families through the runaround because of the Masonic system of being able to shush up, because we control it. And what are they paid? Nothing. Do you know what I mean? Nothing. Again, look, back in the day, still putting shut up for their brothers. They won't cooperate with the profane. Look, Masons surrender over police scandals. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? Which represents 340 Freemasons in England and Wales, is to write to the Prime Minister, Lord Chancellor and Home Secretary their anger and concerns at the affair. Do you know what I mean? Look, the Brotherhood provided 17 names of fellow Masons out of a list of 161 people, mostly police officers connected to 3 scandals. So you imagine that. Do you know what I mean? Again, you can read all that, and then you can, this is how they can get abused, yeah, by the police in Freemasonry. There's 2 videos there, yeah. They will abuse your rights. You know what I mean? Let's see if I can play one. Look.
Let's come to another story now, and this is part of lockdown, and you may well have seen this video online. It's absolutely extraordinary when a retired nurse, aged 73, Lenya Angeli, was arrested by police after she attempted to rescue her 97-year-old mother from a care home so she could be looked after by her family, simply because after 9 months of not being allowed to touch her and be with her properly, she felt that she would be better off at home with her family.
They enforce these draconian laws, and these laws have come through Freemasonry. No one else. Freemasonry.
You must have brothers. What an outrage!
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been urged to end these injustices now, after a Conservative MP said he witnessed an elderly lady peacefully protesting about COVID restrictions get arrested outside Parliament.
I have just witnessed an elderly lady peacefully protesting with a handful of other people.
And that's what they do. They go for the arrest, right? And the thing is, that woman's then shut down, yeah? Because if you come back, you'll be arrested again, and then you've got more charges, you see? But it's also about getting the fines, getting her in court, fining her. Do you see what I mean, yeah? And look at the debate, look, where are all the people? Where is the representation of the profane people? And even if that was full, that room, yeah, that would be full of Freemasons anyway. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. So I just want to go a bit more into here. I ain't staying on this because I have got a lot of information that you're just going to love, my profane friends. The British Mafia, Prime Ministers, look. You can go through that, look. Gordon Brown, all right? All their crimes are shushed up. Do you know what I mean? These people. You know what I mean? You can email an MP, list of MPs convicted of child sex offenders. You know what I mean? Freemasonry banned, look. You know what I mean? But we're not on that. We're on this. So anyway, right. Freemason influence judges. See, look, Freemason influence judges. Look, it's all there in my forum. You know what I mean? Oops, I just hit the wrong bloody key. Marvellous. Right. See? Freemasons close shop, block me, says a barrister. Do you see what I mean? And that's why you'll never, ever see justice. Do you know what I mean? And again, I put about this... I put all this information so you wake up to it. Do you know what I mean? Because you ain't going to get any justice if you're a profane person in any court. Do you know what I mean? And that's the simple fact of it. Again, where's that one? Wait a minute. Calm down. I think it's just here. Look, right there, brother MP, brother. Yeah, brother. Look at this. Look, Freemasons. Look. 11 officers investigating Daniel Morgan's murder were members of a secret organisation. Do you see what I mean? Imagine that. Do you know what I mean? And again, it's all being shushed up, and you can go through it. You know, again, you can go through it, and then the inquiry on that. Oh yeah, this is a good one. The Masonic police had it again. Look, I'm done, Britain. When coppers pens a hearing, yeah, and he pens it. But if you go to the link, look, it's been shushed up, look. See, you can't get to it. That's just what they do all the time. Anything this thingy, because they own the bloody internet and they own these websites, do you know what I mean? And they're always getting shushed up. Even if I go to the main website, look, see, shushed up. See, so you can't get to them because they always... Anyway, that Daniel Morgan, look, right, the inquiry, look, look, condemns Masonic police. Do you know what I mean? The Masons in police. See, so what are you going to do? We know they're all corrupt in police, and all it takes is one Masonic police officer, yeah, right. And if he's a chief inspector, he knows all the investigations that's going on, yeah, the ins and outs, yeah. And all he has to do is have a look, and then walk into a lodge, tell all the criminals within the lodge what's going on, and that's it. And he shuts down them investigations, or they shut it down and hand it to another chapter or lodge for the time being. Do you know what I mean? So then it changes, and then, you know, that investigation's gone. Do you know what I mean? Because the people that were under investigation, they've stopped what they're doing, and they're receiving their payments from the other people that are in the syndicate. Do you see what I mean? And that's all it is. You know, they're just syndicates. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that. And again, you can go through my website, corruption after corruption after corruption. Do you know what I mean? And that goes on and on and on. You know, all of this. Do you know what I mean? Boom, boom, boom. And you can go on and on. You know, look, Masonic police and Parliament, shush. Do you know what I mean? Look. See, they just cover up for their, all the time. Look, they just cover up for their brothers. You'll never get anything. Let's see if it's been shushed up. Look, Maurice police scandals. Look, you see what I mean? But there you go. This is what it's all about. But these people they'll never ever give you anything. Do you know what I mean? This is Freemason scripts. Wait a minute, we don't want Freemason scripts. What is that we're looking for? Oh, put that down. We're looking for Masonic police, innit? Let me try this. Masonic police. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, and we're right in there. Watch this, my profane friends. Oh, mate, how do I get actually to the videos, documents, all portray? No, wait a minute. This is now going to come out backwards, innit? I can see it now. So it's giving me. So what it's done, I don't know. That is, all right, I'm going to do it this way because I don't know what I'm doing. Right, okay, Masonic police. There it is, right in there, baby. Bang! Look, that's my all my look. Masonic sheep, Masonic this, Masonic that. Do you know what I mean? Also, look out for their lettering, but we won't get into that anyway. Here we go, my profane friends. Now, I don't know whether I go from the top or the bottom. This is going to be higgledy-piggledy, okay? But we'll get through it, okay? Look, mums nabbed for pimping their own kids with drugs, yeah? But the police do nothing. Do you see what I mean? This is what happens when you're involved in drugs, yeah? Do you know what I mean? The children become vulnerable because most parents, no, let me get that wrong, not most parents. Most parents are manipulated by the drugs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, or they wouldn't even contemplate it. Do you know what I mean? And the criminals exploit that. Do you know what I mean? And they know that. Okay, but that's another story. But anyway, again, look, I'll leave that. I'll move that up there. See, this is so someone, you know, again on drugs, yeah, okay, and then she found, and then she had a different little girl with her. Okay, this is an old post. This is. I'll just let you guys read that. But this is why I'm anti-drugs, yeah. But why aren't you seeing people jumping out on drug dealers doing drugs, you know, that are dealing drugs within your towns and cities? Why ain't no one jumping out on these people, even though they're affecting young children, your children? You know what I mean? Because remember, these people now look homeless and gaunt and all the rest of it. They're all nice people, actually, believe it or not. You know, just because they're on drugs doesn't mean everyone's terrible. When they're desperate and they're robbing because they've got their habit and they need to feed it, yeah? But not all of them do that. Some would just, you know, live sort of like, you know, normal lives, if you get what I mean. They work, you know, and have jobs, you know. Is that what they call that? A working drug addict? No, a functioning drug addict, I suppose you call it, innit? Yeah, but you've got a lot of girls out there and boys that are selling their bodies for drugs. Do you know what I mean? But what do we do to protect them? What are the police doing? They do nothing, because they don't kick in the people that are dealing the drugs. Do you know what I mean? Because that's their brothers. Do you know what I mean? And they're in on it anyway. Do you know what I mean? If you do the research, you'll see the police are thick as thieves with the fucking drug dealers. Do you know what I mean? Standing toe to toe. You know what I mean? And they're sitting there like having a pint in the pub. You know what I mean? Wonderful, isn't it? But anyway, what do I know? I'm profane. Now, this is about drugs. Right, look. The gruesome reality of life as a county lines mule. Heroin hidden in Kinder eggs, right? Because this is all nonsense, yeah? This is noncy drug dealers, yeah, that use kids, okay? But you try going around trying to catch these nonces. They're protected by them noncy Freemasons that are protecting the police, you know what I mean? Anyway, top boys, but children stabbed or beaten for the smallest mistake, yeah? So if they lost a couple of bags or got robbed, they get beaten up or stabbed because they've let them drugs go. And the people, remember, these are men, not kids that are running these children. They're men, grown fucking men, yeah? So anyway, and here we go. Look, I'll let you read that, guys. You know me, I like to chat a lot, but bloody hell, even I've got to be silent sometimes. Can you read that? Look, drug mules, have been raped, burned, and had their fingernails pulled out. The charity has helped girls as young as 12. Now, what's going on? Isn't anyone concerned about these nonces that are drug dealing to your kids and using them as mules? Why aren't people jumping out on these nonces? Eh? So I'll let you read that. It might be one importer supplying 10 to 20 organised groups, each of them sending out 10 to 20 children. You see what I mean? There could be up to 40 children in the county line, but each of them will be made to believe. And then I think I did some here. No, that is it. Yeah. So that's just to show you, yeah. Look, and here we go again. Look, more concerned parents. Please pray for my daughter. She has a drug addiction. She is on the streets. I don't know where she is. You see what I mean? And this is what it's all about. And here we are. This is what the Freemasons do. Look, the apprentice sees nothing. The fellow craft hear nothing. And the master mason will never say nothing about another Freemason. Remember, they're building better drug users. Now, Now, if you know my post on the down pyramid sign, yeah, watch everyone here. This is the Queen. Look at him on the right, look, extreme right, see it? And then come over on the left, you see him do it again, look. See that, look? They're all doing the same sign. Watch it. See that, look? Pyramid down sign. Do you see that, how they're doing it all to the Queen, look? Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. I'll go one more time, look, because this is all what runs your country. The Freemasons, the Lords, the Dukes and the Earls. The guy on the right, look, watch him present it to the guy on his right, look, watch, look. And he swings it across, look, he points it to them, look, see? See? How wonderful they are, look. They're so, they can't help signing themselves, yeah? Remember, these are Freemasons. They're in a gang, they're in an army, yeah? Look at the handshake. Oh, yeah, by the way, look at the Masonic grip, look. See the grip? Did you see that? Watch the Queen's grip, look, on him, look. Watch. Does it twice. Watch. The perfect grip, look. You know what I mean? Of a master mason. She's done it on two of them. You know what I mean? Right, let's see if I can get that to go begin. Right, watch the geezers there. Look, doing the hand sign. And then you got the other guy across the way doing it. And then he comes off it. Now watch the Masonic grip. Watch. One. And she moved the thumb. Look, watch her move the thumb. And there you go again. See it? Boom. So that was your Masonic president. I don't know who that is. Just in case none of you have seen this video, is the best of the best. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that grip. You know who that is, don't you? Eh? Oh, baby. And that one and all. You know who that is? Minge Head. There you go, that's your Queen. Now here's again, here's a handy guide to the police force at home and overseas, right? Now I'm not going to read all this. And the prison service, look, you see? Look, the railway and dock police, okay? And the colonial police with a section devoted to the prison service. Do you see what I mean? Because that's all interconnected, all intertwined by Freemasons, yeah? Right? Will you fail? Hopefully you can read this, guys. I don't know. You know what I mean? But this is in my forum anyway, and it's on my site anyway, so I'm going to just flick through this. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, like, you know, do the whole book and read it. You know what I mean? See? England, Wales and Scotland. See? It's all connected, look. Now, as you read this, notice it reads as a Masonic book. Yeah? Any of their books I've shown you, it's always the same spiel. Yeah? Look, docks and canal people, railway police forces overseas, and prison service. But the thing you got to remember is, yeah, is that even though this reads as a Masonic book, which it is anyway, because the Freemasons are the Freemasons. The Freemasons created the police. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get into that neither. Do your research. But again, it's just another army, and how we can shush up our brothers' crimes. Do you know what I mean? Are you free from debt? Look, again, look. You know what I mean? Look. What nationality were you? See, everything in there, right? It's every question except, are you a Freemason? You know what I mean? There's never, in any inquiries on anything, there's never the question is, are you a Freemason? Like, they'll ask for your date, sex, your gender, hair colour, all of that bollocks, yeah? But you'll never get them to tell you or ask you on any form whether you're a Freemason or not. Do you know what I mean? I'm just flicking through these. Metropolitan Police College. So who do you think runs that college and owns that college? Do you see what I mean? It'd be Freemasons, see? Standard of education. Again, a Masonic education. You know? Add up the look, add up the columns. Look. So, look at these questions. A train goes 165 miles in 4 hours. How far will it travel in 1 minute? Bloody hell. If 16 horses and 8 cows eat 40 bushels of corn a week, how much does each horse get if a cow eats half as much as a horse? As much as a Freemason, I reckon. But anyway, some of the questions these brothers get, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's already uploaded to my forum anyway, so, you know. I've even got their pays. You know what I mean? Non-commissioned officers and Masonic constables. You know what I mean? See, again, look, see, Egypt, Gibraltar, Hong Kong, India. Do you see what I mean? All that work, what you're seeing in this book, comes from Masonic Freemasons doing the work. Do you know what I mean? And they're paid very well to do it. In fact, I should have shown you who the printer was, and then that'll be a Freemason whoever printed this books. Do you know what I mean? Because it would have gone, because they like I said, they always give the I forgot what's bloody called now. The contract, or the contract. They'll always give the contract to one of their brothers, you know, whether that's a Masonic printer, you know, or anything else they need to do. You know what I mean? Cities and boroughs, England and Wales. You know what I mean? That's the age gap, the height. You know what I mean? Extra duties. Marvellous, isn't it? And like I said, it reads like a Masonic lodge. Do you see what I mean? And their books. See what I mean? Because this is what they are. These are Freemasons. This is what the Freemasons are. You know? Police forces for Scotland. See, they're all over the place. And they work in cahoots, you know? Okay, and let's say we've got a constable in Ipswich and you got one in Norwich, right? Yeah? You don't think they're going to work together, even if they're that far apart? Of course they are. Do you know what I mean? But Freemasonry is even more so on a higher level in all towns and cities. Do you know what I mean? This is what you've got to remember. Everything you see, yeah, prison service, everything you see, yeah, relates to Freemasons. Don't matter. You're driving a car, Freemasonry built that fucking car. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? A Masonic company, you know, all the parts. Motorbikes, they own all the motorbike fucking companies, you know, shit like that. Do you know what I mean? They just pretend that Mr. Smith owns it or Mr. whatever. Do you know what I mean? But it's always in the lodge. Don't matter where you research, what business, whatever, it will go to the lodge. Yeah, you got the old chest expanders. You remember getting them? Do you desire to enter the police force? And if so, are you up to standard? What they really mean is, are you a fucking Freemason? You know what I mean? Look, I bet he's a Freemason. Look, Mr. W.G. Hunt. Yeah, look him up. I bet he's a Freemason. Guarantee it. Yeah, and that's the thing about it. And that should be the Anna. Oh, I've gone backwards in the book. I think you might have to do the video the other way. And this, right? Yeah, look. Head of Service Education. Yeah, right. Motion to remove the sex question, motion to keep the sex question. That's in blue. And there it is, look. Marie Bunns, SNP, Ian Murdoch, and Anthea Dixon. You see what I mean? And here's the wards. But all of these, yeah, they're all Freemasons. In fact, if you want to email one, look, I'll show you. And they've got their telephone numbers as well. In fact, what I'll do, I might ring some of them up. That'd be good. Councillors and democracy, councillors, your councillors. In fact, I'm going to do that. Before I post this video, I'm going to ring up and then I'll add this to in. So I'm going to add that and I'm going to phone some of these people up, yeah? Oh, how wonderful. Do you know what I mean? But I'll go like this so you can all, if you'd all like to phone them up and ask them why they're Freemasonry corruption within their services. Whether the phone numbers will work or not, I don't know. You may want to ring up the ones that want to keep the sex question, you know what I mean? But how wonderful that is. Anyway, again, I've done this one, yeah. Again, look, she came to Great Yarmouth, you know what I mean? All the cameras are shut down, all shushed up crime, yeah. But I've done this anyway, so I don't know why this is in here again. It might have been one of my other police videos. See, look, it didn't record the arrest or police brutality because it's switched off. Britannia Pier is Masonically owned, do you know what I mean? But that's another story. Look, now this is what I wanted to get into, right? Now, police officers, suicide, causes, prevention and practical intervention strategies, yeah? More police officers die by their own hand than are killed in the line of duty. This article outlines the facts and statistics about police officers' suicides and discusses the range, blah, 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 yeah? Well, to me, right, and again, you know, I would like to request the total number of police employees separated by officers and staff, if possible, in each force area that died as a result of suicide for the following years, 2019 right up to 2023. We said thank you for your request. So, in all, there are 9 major groups of occupations, for example, skilled trades, 25 sub-major groups, for example, skilled construction and building trades, 90 minor groups, for example, building But the point of the matter is, right, in all, there are 9 major groups of occupation, for example, right, so only the following branches are held: 1,172 senior police officers, 3,312 police officers, sergeants and below. Again, it's that pyramids, you see what I mean? The higher you go, do you know what I mean? And then 3,315 police community support officers, yeah? Please note, suspected suicide deaths are investigated by a Masonic... Oh, sorry. Wait there, I'm trying to get that thing again. Coroner in an inquest. The amount of time it takes to hold an inquest causes a delay between the date of death and the date of the death registration, yeah? But the point is, again, the coroner is a Freemason. The police investigating the case as well are Freemasons. So how hard is it for them to shush up a crime? Do you see what I mean? Nothing. Easy as peasy pie, isn't it? You know what I mean? Anyway, well, the following, I'll let you read this, you guys. Right, now here we go. Look, coroner calls for action after Bedshire police suicide, yeah? Now, I believe some of these police officers, yeah, I think they were going to speak out, yeah? That's my belief. Because the police officers round here, what I know, are in dodgy little games of corruption for their Freemason brothers, yeah? It ain't hard, right, if one of them's going to speak out or done something to suicide them. Do you know what I mean? Who's going to question it? No one. Do you know what I mean? No one's going to question that, ever. Who would question a policeman that died by suicide when you got the people who are investigating it are all Freemasons? Do you know what I mean? And they're all getting handouts. Remember, drugs is big money, yeah? And it don't matter where you look or where you search, yeah? Right? In Masonic police corruption, yeah? The police are always involved in the take. Do you know what I mean? And that's in every town and city. It don't matter who you go back to the Chicago times, they had politicians and police in their pockets. What you think today, they ain't got police and politicians in their pockets? Do you know what I mean? And by the amount of money that the Freemasons make within every town and city, you don't think they're paying the police backhanders and the like the people within your town halls and everyone else that represents a civil servant is getting backhanders from drug money on the because that's what's happening. Do you know what I mean? And that's in every town and city. Again, look. In a wooded area, right? This guy was found in a wooded area. This gained national coverage as it was initially believed that Willis was murdered by 3 unknown assailants. However, after 2 months of investigation, by Freemasons. Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I mean? Committed and staged the suicide after that his many years of criminal activity would soon be exposed. Do you see what I mean? And this is the thing. He didn't commit suicide because his criminality was going to be exposed. He got killed because of what he might say to protect his little arse and grass up after Freemasons in the police force. So we can't afford to have the fucking, as usual, we can't afford to have the, what's that called? The bloody, the reveal of it all, yeah? Because the public will go mad on it. Do you know what I mean? And this is what they do. So what they did, rather than have that, him spill the beans on all his Masonic brothers, they topped him. Do you know what I mean? And they made it look like an accident. And that's not hard to do as well, is it? Do you know what I mean? Look at it already. It's like a JFK conspiracy already. Do you know what I mean? Three unknown assailants. Do you know what I mean? So where are they gone? So again, you have to believe that narrative, what comes from the police. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, what do I know? I don't know nothing on this side. I'm just talking about my area, and I'll show you what happens in my area in a minute. So anyway, back on with the old place. Again, another guy, yeah? Do you know what I mean? What happened if he, like this guy here, right? Let's just say, for instance, right? He's going to spill the beans, and here it is again, look, yeah? An apparent suicide, yeah? Officials said. So we know, for an instance, that the Freemasons, yeah, like in Westminster, when there's a paedophile ring, they shut it up and call it a suppression order, yeah. And so if you've got MPs and people in higher positions that are covering up their own people, we can't tell the public this and all of that. Oh no, we'll do it for the best interest of the public, but no, it's in the best interest of the police not to be caught out that they are Freemasons and they're corrupt, yeah? And here's the one I'm on about. The 2 Norfolk police officers die in apparent suicides. Apparent suicides. You see what I mean? Their words. Listen to their words. You know what I mean? Again, inquest in the police officer's death. Here, wife's raised alarm, yeah? The Australian wife of a police officer said she flagged his suicide risk for months before he died. I was always told the police would look into it, see? So it's another shh. But again, remember, when people are scared, yeah, they go, oh, I can't, talking about suicide, yeah, is the worst thing you should do, because when they top you, it enforces that they have killed you. Do you know what I mean? That you suicided yourself. Do you see what I mean? So never talk about killing yourself, because that's the easiest way for them to kill you and make it an accident, because everyone then turns round, and again, it works in their favour, is that, oh, he was talking about committing suicide all the time anyway. Do you see what I mean? And they can put them ideas in your head. Remember that. Again, look, took his own life on the day of professional standards meeting inquest, yeah? Right? Again, wasn't a compensable issue. Do you know what I mean? Again, this is another police officer, yeah, that had a standards meeting against him, yeah, for corruption, yeah, took his life to, so he's gentle, kind and popular with a deep love for animals and his family, and who struggled with depression weren't a secret. You see what I mean? Well, any job like police, that would get to you anyway, because it is like fucking high stress job, isn't it? It's not like fucking thingy. You know what I mean? But look, a coroner is investigating the death of 4 Tasmanian police officers between 2016 and 2020, yeah? Paul Hunt, a constable, died by suicide in 2006 at his family's property. The inquest, he had been called in by the professional standard unit on the day he died. Do you know what I mean? It's always funny where people are going into an inquiry, yeah? Do you know what I mean? Or, going to face a jury or whatever, that the people die. But again, by him passing away, who does that benefit? That's the sort of motive you got to ask for, isn't it? Who does it benefit, his death? Well, it benefits the people that were corrupt and he could have spilt the beans on, doesn't it? Do you see what I mean? So, again, look, a former policeman suspected of being the serial killer behind some of France's oldest unsolved cases has been found dead at the age of 35 years. Again, was he Freemason or not? you know what I mean? You've got to research these things. You know, police officer suicide rise to 4 deaths. You know what I mean? See? Why are they suiciding themselves? Are these police officers that are stepping forward, going, right, I'm not having this fucking corruption? Spoke to another police officer they trust, obviously, say, no, I'm going to fucking spill the beans on that, and then they're getting suicided before they do, because we know they suicide people. Do you know what I mean? This isn't a joke. You know, they did it to lots and lots and lots of people. Do you know what I mean? Killed lots of people by suicide, tying, belts around their necks and pretending it's a sex act, and they died by that sort of, bloody accident, But anyway, that's another story. You know exactly what I'm on about when I say that, because I haven't gone too much into it, you know what I mean? Look, two police officers died of suicide after Capitol riot. More are hurting. Do you see what I mean? How's that, do you know what I mean? I mean, that must me, you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, this is the thing. I can't investigate it. I'm just a single person. And these people ain't going to ask any more questions than they have to, or reveal any more than they need to. The only thing they ain't telling us is, are these all got Freemason related to it? You know what I mean? Are they Freemasons or not, Look. Customs officer dies after he is accidentally shot twice in the chest during training demonstration at Miami gun range. Now, surely at a gun range, safety is paramount. So how does that person get shot twice? Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. See, so they may look like accidents, but they're not. They're people getting killed because of some reason or something. Do you know what I mean? But it's a customs officer. Did he find out? He knew that the people that he was working with or around him were smuggling in massive amounts of drugs in containers. Yeah. So he had to be fucking killed. Do you know what I mean? But remember, the money you're dealing with there is in the millions and billions, when it comes through on a container. So how much money does it cost, you think, to have someone killed? Fucking nothing, mate. Do you know what I mean? Killing people's cheap. You know what I mean? And that, who benefited from that? Again, the smugglers or the drug runners. And if they were all police or custom officers, because I'm presuming, these would be, the gun range would have been run by ex-policemen that were Freemasons or whatever. Again, the question's not being asked is, are they Freemasons running the guns, and blah, blah, blah. So, again, it comes in again. Then you got another officer, look, off-duty Colton police officer dies after actually shooting himself, authorities say. That's what the authorities say, which are Freemasons. But did he shoot himself, or did someone shoot him and then it was made to look like suicide? Do you see what I mean? And this is the thing, it goes on and on and on. I'll let that one go there. I'll keep forgetting to hit that, and that brings that little thing up here. But it doesn't matter anyways. But there you go, my profane friends. Lorenz Morgan, right there. See, all different people that have all been killed, yeah, in accidental firings. That from self-inflicted. If you shoot someone, and you're going to have. Let's put it this way: on a gun range, you're going to have powder on you anyway, ain't you? Do you see what I mean? So. Look, now this one, he had an accidental fall. Do you know what I mean? Again, remember, these people know how to make accidents. If they're the investigators, they can say and do whatever they want, can't they? Especially if these people are going to blow the whistles on a lot of crime and corruption within the force, Young cop dies in accidental electrocution during counterinsurgency training. Again, he's counterinsurgency trained. So how does a man that's working in it like a whatever electrocute himself? Do you know what I mean? Because these places are headquarters of the Regional Public Safety Battalion in Paraguay, Para. You know what I mean? So how does that happen? Do you see what I mean? I don't get it. But again, was he going to spill the beans on corruption? Like I said, not everyone who goes into the police force is corruptible. You know what I mean? And they find something out, bang, we're going to silence you, we're going to shut you up like they do everyone else. You know what I mean? They ain't going to keep it going, are they? But But what do I know? Oh, no, I'm just guessing. You know, like I said, I don't know. I just asked the question. Do you know what I mean? But the question that never is asked, how many Freemasons were involved? Do you know what I mean? In the case, you know, is it a shush? Again, look, he received in a training accident. Look, but wasn't beaten by fellow officers as his mother's alleged, according to the autopsy report. See, so his mother, you know, and this is his own mother, is saying he got beat up, but they're saying no, he didn't. So he fell down while he got a spinal cord injury, but who's to say? Officers in a bear hug while acting as a instructor. See what I mean? Again, you have to take their. How can that woman, right? That mum, his mum, go against, you know, how say there's 12 officers there, and then you got the respectability of the training, you know, the training place as well. Who's going to doubt that word? Do you see what I mean? Because it was a training facility, which gives it power to boost it, to say this is the fucking truth. Do you see what I mean? Because we're a training facility. That would not go on in our place of fucking work. Do you know what I mean? And it boosts that. It's like, you know, again, when I was on about the last video, when I said about, you know, a doctor and a policeman go, follow me. You know what I mean? And I say, follow me. They look at me, they go, I ain't got to follow that. We'll trust the policeman and we'll trust the doctor. But then you can look at, you know, some of the doctors that have killed people and been, you know, mass murderers over the years. And you can look at the policemen that are rapists or killers or whatever over the years. You know what I mean? But people will always put a trust in a doctor and a policeman before they would any sort of normal civilian. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. The where you know, a police station, again, gives authority, doesn't it? Yeah. A town hall gives authority. Do you know what I mean? But if you run them, then you even got more authority, haven't you? Especially if you're wearing a Masonic apron that no one can see. Do you see what I mean? And that gives that authority, and you can control your population through the police stations, through your churches, through your hospitals, because they're all to be trusted, aren't they? Do you see what I mean? But if you do the research on it, we've got all sorts of vicars doing different things. We've got people in Parliament doing different things. We've got people at the police station doing different things. Do you know what I mean? And they're all corruptible, you know, and I show that all day long. So, but the trouble with the profane is they believe them things because it's ingrained in you from a young age to take the value and the trust of someone on your frickin' TV. Do you know what I mean? Like Schofield or Jimmy Savile, you know what I mean? You have to believe what they tell you, do you know what I mean? And, you know, half them other people I can't think of, do you know what I mean? Again, look, Masonic Police Department officer who was killed during a training exercise in what officials call a tragic accident was allegedly targeted for investigating a gang rape by fellow officers, according to his family. Do you see what I mean? Again, look, a tragic act was allegedly targeted for investigating a gang rape by fellow officers, according to his family. See what I mean? So if them officers, again, the question's not asked, were they Freemasons and they were shushing him up? Do you see what I mean? It changes the fucking narrative, doesn't it? But people will read this and they think, oh yeah, bum, because they're police. They're honest. You know what I mean? But once you learn out they're not fucking free, they're Freemasons, then you know they're not honest. You see what I mean? It changes the narrative, innit? They used that training as a cover to kill him in retaliation for his whistleblowing activity. Do you see what I mean? And again, you can go to my forum, go to my you know, in fact, I'll just do that for you now because I'm really good like that. You know what I mean? I don't even know how I do it now. Wait a minute, this one, innit? I'll go like that. Oh, wait there. I'm going like that, yeah, like this, look. And if we go here, look, my whistleblowing section, which is here in the shush, the biggest subliminal, go to the whistleblowers here, or what's been shushed up, look. Okay, now look, see, and you'll see all these top people we're supposed to be trusting, like Theresa May, Amber Rudd, you know what I mean? Again, look, suppression, Westminster child abuse, the documents. Yeah, I'll go into it until you can see it. So I mean, this is the stuff they're shushing up. You know what I mean? Look, let's not forget that Theresa May appointed 3 compromised heads of the overreaching inquiry into child sex abuse to undermine its effectiveness. You see what I mean? Because she had the power She could do that. Look, Freemasons in the police leading the attack on, leading the attack on David Cameron's riot response. Do you know what I mean? See, they're involved in everything. The Freemasons are behind it, but no one's asking the questions. Do you know what I mean? Was it Freemasons? How many Freemasons? Was it a Masonic gun range? Do you see what I mean? You know, it's crazy, isn't it? You know, again, look, Jill Dando killed because she was a whistleblower. Do you know what I mean? Child abuse links to Freemasons. This should have its own section, which it should do, really. Right there, let me see if I can get that. Is it going to go in, or has it been shushed up by the Freemasons? It looks like it's been shushed up. I know, all right. Again, look, H5. Again, you can go, you know, this is all like, you know, look, use of Freemasonry to avoid arrest for child abuse. Look, Masonic abuse of an orphan, Masonic child abuse ring. Do you know what I mean? And it goes on and on and on. You know what I mean? Look, 16 accounts of Masonic related child abuse. The Masonic Grand Master sentenced to 10 years for child sex abuse, but he's having a wingding of a time. He is. Look, it's been shushed up. Look, see, this one ain't no. The Anglesey in it. I think it's Anglesey. This one. Former Freemason Grand Master facing 10 years in jail after being caught in a sting by the police as he waited to meet a 14-year-old boy off Grindr. Do you know what I mean? This is your Freemason. But whatever happened to him, I ain't researched him. I don't really bother. You know what I mean? But again, it's all about the shush up, isn't it? The Masonic shh. You know, Jimmy Savile, Ken Dodd, both Freemasons. Again, shushed up. You know what I mean? You know, and I can go on and on and on with it. You know, Jersey, corruption, Masonic Island, because that's what that is. Jersey is run by Freemasonry. Again, prove me wrong. Same as the Isle of Wight. You know, you got Above Majestic, if you haven't heard of that one. Look at it. Look, there's the Masonic shush, look. Yeah? The shush god in the front cover. You know what I mean? You can go on and on, you know, all of this, you know, I ain't posted none of this. It's got nothing, you know, Gordon Brown, another pedo, you know what I mean? He was our whatever he was, you know what I mean? He was a prime minister, do you know what I mean? Again, look, it's all in there, look, you know what I mean? Massive cover-ups all the time, and this is what I'm on about with the police. You know, see, it's been shushed up, look. Again, they get shushed up, you know what I mean? Anyway, my profane friends, back to here. But he was like investigating, like I said, gang rape by his fellow officers that were more than likely Freemasons, and they shut him up. You know, they you know, but who's going to question that? You know, he goes to a gun range or a train and exercise facility that's got, again, that power of authority. Yeah, so whatever goes on there, yeah, that's got to be an accident because they're all fucking police. But, you know, they're opening Masonic lodges, I guarantee you, in that fucking place. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, you know me, I don't like to brag about these sort of things. I like to keep quiet, you know. Shh, shh. I like to keep a bit of shush on me, you know. Anyway, let's go on. Again, look. Inquest, no, I didn't. Again, this is just what I pick up on. Inquest into retired policeman found on Great Yarmouth Beach. He had no previous history of mental health, took his own life. Do you know what I mean? Why? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Was he a Freemason? You know, no one's asking the questions. This is the thing. You know what I mean? But again, you come off North Drive, look, close to North Drive in Great Yarmouth. You know? Why do people do it? Why is he found dead? Is he going to spill the beans? Was he a Freemason? You know what I mean? Look, I'm totally perplexed to why this happened. As a family, we are devastated. Did he have a change of heart? You know, he went into the lodge and gone, oh, I'm going to spill the beans here. This is corruption. Dun, dun, dun. They're going, shit, we're going to have to shush this dude up. Do you know what I mean? Because he took a child, you know, again, right? This is the thing about it, right? I totally put this head of the family deficit. Mr. Galloway's last moments were captured by CCTV on the day he left his home, right? Cameras and receipts at the Cliff Hotel, which is the Masonic Lodge, okay? Do you see what I mean? The Cliff Hotel, the Masonic Lodge. Galston confirms that he had eaten a steak dinner, what more than likely killed him anyway, and drunk 2 gin and tonics alone before he left the restaurant and headed to the direction of the pier. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing with it, you know what I mean? Was he a Freemason? Because that there, right, the Cliff Hotel is a Masonic lodge. There's more corruption in there that knows no bounds that anyone could ever ask for, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? I research it, prove me wrong. Or any of them can come forward and step and do a little lie detector with me. You know who you are, you little gang stalking, drug dealing little perverts. You know what I mean? I'm well aware of what you are in that fucking place. Anyway, that's another story. Let's move along. Then we've got this guy. I love this guy. See, this is what
mainstream media
a lot,
told
actually.
me. I've been studying it
I was
4
editor
years.
of a national newspaper.
I've talked to
we
people.
covered it
Wait a
in
minute.
depth every day for
Really?
5-6 months.
Really?
So I know a lot about it. And
Well,
one
then
thing
how
I do
come-
know is
let me ask you this
you
then.
cannot say that any member of the Bush administration knew it was going to happen or wanted it to happen. It's a ridiculous thing to say.
Ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about your BBC. I have a tape of a BBC reporter broadcasting directly back to England, talking about a 3rd building has collapsed. World Trade Center Building 7 talks for 7 minutes. All the while she's talking, World Trade Center Building 7 is still standing right behind her. It didn't fall for another half hour. Yet they were doing a pre-broadcast back to England that yes, it's true,
You need to
that
take a
this
break here.
building fell and it hadn't fallen yet.
You're trying to make out the British Broadcasting Company, one of the most respected news organisations in the world, was inventing huge buildings falling over.
Can you see that? Listen to him, yeah? How he's trying to convince the public. Because he's a Freemason, yeah? Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing with it. Everyone fucking believes this geezer. Do you know what I mean? But he'll sit there daily, yeah? Giving his spiel, this, and guiding the profane away from the truth. Do you know what I mean? But listen to him. Listen to what he says. Sorry if there's a few bangs. That's me. I'm just making a bread roll.
You need to have a break, Jesse. We'll come back after the break and we'll talk about Israel and Iran.
Are you kidding me? This is a fact, my friend.
See that? Did you say you need to have a brain? Do you see what I mean?
We'll find out more now about that from our correspondent, Jane Stanley. Jane, what more can you tell?
Let me just take you back if I can. And
Studying, have you actually done of 9/11 other than what the government's told you and what mainstream media
A lot,
has told
actually.
you?
I've
been studying it
I was
4
editor
years.
of a national newspaper.
I've talked
we
to
covered
people. Wait
it
a
in
minute.
depth every day for
Really?
5-6 months.
Really?
So I know a lot about it.
Well,
And one
then
thing
how
I do
come-
know is
let me ask you this
you
then.
cannot say that any member of the Bush administration knew it was going to happen or wanted it to happen. It's a ridiculous thing to say.
Ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about your BBC. I have a tape of a BBC reporter broadcasting directly back to England, talking about a 3rd building has collapsed. World Trade Center Building 7 talks for 7 minutes. All the while she's talking, World Trade Center Building 7 is still standing right behind her. It didn't fall for another half hour. Yet they were doing a pre-broadcast back to England that yes, it's true,
You need to
that
take a
this
break here.
building fell and it hadn't fallen yet.
You're trying to make out the British Broadcasting Company, one of the most respected news organisations in the world.
do you get that? Listen to that. One of the most respected, the BBC. They covered up every paedophile, fucking gang stalking, drug dealing Freemasons they could ever do. Do you see what I mean? The BBC, the most respectable. Do you see what I mean? And then see how he derogates and go, you're crazy or mad. Listen, that's all Masonic spiels and scripts, right? Listen.
Inventing huge buildings falling over. You need to have a little. You need.
See, inventing. Do you see what I mean? You're inventing. You know what I mean? You're crazy. You're mad. But no, it's fucking facts, and we know it is, don't we? Do you know what I mean? But this guy here, because he sits there on our TV as a national star, he has big sway over profane people. Do you know what I mean? And these are the people we need out, because they're there for a purpose. They've been put there to steer the profane. He's a Judas goat. Do you see what I mean?
To have a break, Jesse. We'll come back after the break and we'll talk about Israel and Iran.
Kidding me? This is a fact, my friend.
Probably find out more now about that from our correspondent, Jane Stanley. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy. There's almost a sense downtown in...
Oh, and before I forget, that geezer there that was speaking, yeah, remember, he was a newspaper man, but they put him on X Factor, the X, the 3 X's, if you know what I mean, which means 666. But anyway, the X Factor, they put him on there, and he was judging people. Imagine that. Just this is what they do. They put any people with no authority in positions of power. Like they go to the shopkeeper, they say, would you like to be a magistrate? And they go, what have I got to do? Well, you just got to judge people and send them on remand if they're naughty or bad or good. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is, you know. So they put him in front of this panel, the X Factor or whatever, and he's actually judging people how they sing or entertain. Do you know what I mean? How the fuck, you know what I mean? What is his entertainment? Nothing, sitting at a news desk. Anyway, that's another story. Again, he's there because obviously Simon Cowell's a Freemason. He's a Freemason, and that's how they do it. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's listen. Hopefully this will go.
New York, behind me, down by the World Trade Centers, of just an area completely closed off as the rescue workers try to do their job. But this isn't the first building that has suffered as a result. We know that part of the Marriott Hotel next to the World Trade Center also collapsed as a result of this huge amount of falling debris from 110 floors of the two twin towers of the World Trade Center. As you can see behind me, the Trade Center appears to be still burning. We see these huge clouds of smoke and ash, and we know that behind that there's an empty piece of what was a very familiar New York skyline, a symbol of the financial prosperity of this city, but completely disappeared now, and New York is still unable to take on board what has happened to them today.
Now knowing that BBC lied on live television about World Trade Center 7, you should also know that they were covering up Jimmy Savile, one of the most prolific pedophiles within the industry. This coincidentally mirrors the Jeffrey Epstein cover-up.
Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal.
The point of this video was to make sure that the people knew that we can never trust the media for the lies that they have told. They all mimic and parrot each other, and it's very obvious.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous.
A new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
And that, my profane friends, is extremely dangerous to the profane people, to allow these people...
George Bush is a known Freemason. Here he is pictured in a Masonic robe, and by now, you should know the history of this country. George Washington was a Freemason. George Bush was signed into office while taking the oath with the George Washington Bible. Here, you have George Bush and Bill Clinton as well as having the two in another picture with George throwing up the Mark Master Mason pose. Now we can get to the focal point of this video. Katrina Ryan Clyde is an artist whose artwork was found in Epstein's Manhattan mansion, portraying Bill Clinton dressed as a woman. Bill was on Epstein's Lolita Express 26 times. Do the red shoes in this picture correlate to the Red Shoe Club? And finally, why did she, in another piece of art, depict Bush knocking over the Twin Towers with a plane?
We're getting more permissive gun laws. Bad news for people with target-shaped birthmarks. And my guest, Douglas Rushkoff, believes that corporations run the world. Jews and Freemasons, you're off the hook.
Well, anyway, we don't want to watch all of that, but just see what I mean, how they shush things up. And it don't matter. I always deal with the local people, right? That's where you need to be. You can't do nothing about Bush, Clinton and all of them, but you can stop the narrative coming to your towns and cities, and the Freemasons working for these clowns and bringing in that agenda for them, yeah? Because they're all deceived. Every one of them are deceived, yeah? All you Master Masons that think you're special and you're being given money and property of what value, of what is that value anyway, I don't know. But it's jack shit to me. The point is, you may feel special because you've got, you're in with the Freemasons and you've been given money and businesses and all that, and you're getting a privilege of like sleeping with little girls and all the rest of it and being gay and whatever else you do. But the point of the matter is, you're just working against your own people. They're using you, and if you think you're special enough that they won't bomb you or kill you when it comes down to the nitty gritty, you're having a giraffe. Anyway, and this is the trouble, isn't it? The greater part of the population is not very intelligent, dreads responsibility, which they do, because they just want to go along and, go along with the flow, innit? And desires nothing better than to do and to be told what to do, provided the rulers do not interfere with its material comforts and its cherished beliefs. It is perfectly happy to let itself be ruled. And that's the thing about it, innit? You don't care that there's corrupt people, yeah, in your towns, in your cities, yeah, that all these nasty little jobs and works, yeah, all for the elite. You can't get near anyway, you know, and that's the thing. You got to take out the nasty, what's in your town and cities, which have been corrupted for centuries and decades, yeah. We're not talking about a 5-minute thing here. We're talking about decades and centuries where they've tricked you, called you profane, yeah, and stupid people, and you've allowed them to do that. And so long as you do that anyway, you're going to be safe anyway. You know what I mean? Again, another little video. Yeah, this is, again, if you revolt, again, this is where it comes down to. This is what they will do to you.
To World War I from all over the country.
This is what
their only assets were the bonus certificates they'd been given after the war, which promised a cash bonus sometime in the future. They needed it now.
At the end of May 1932, nearly 10,000 bonus marchers occupied the nation's capital, and tens of thousands more were on their way.
Washington, I get my bonus, and I'm going to wait till I get it if I have to wait till 1945. What brought you to Washington? Well, to beat the Undertaker, spend the money before the Undertaker gets it.
Just remember, this is what Freemasonry is. Remember, Washington is Freemasonry, yeah? All Masonic, yeah? The Illuminati, whatever you got, their signs are all over it, yeah? They've got big lodges there. Now you come to collect your money, you're protesting. This is what they're going to do. Within every town and city, this is what they're going to do to you, yeah? They're going to rise up out of their lodges, I keep telling you, and this is what they're going to do to you, all right? Because they own everything. Get ready.
I know who's made this country worth living in. It's just you fellas. Look, makes me so damn mad a whole lot of people speak of you as tramps. By God, they didn't speak of you as tramps in 1917 and 18. No. Take it from me. This is the greatest demonstration of Americanism we've ever had. Pure Americanism.
President Hoover was left to deal with the veterans when the Senate rejected their demands. The marchers had stayed, camped out in central Washington.
On July 16th, the last day Congress was in session, Washington was on edge. Thousands of angry veterans surrounded the Capitol. Near midnight, the 72nd Congress adjourned.
And don't think what you've been doing out of the last 3 years, yeah, is going to do any change at all. This changed nothing what these veterans did, yeah, and it never does. You don't matter what protest you look at, and all they do to protesters, do you know what they do? They round you up, put you in a corral, and shoot you all. Men, women, children. Done. Then that protest is over with. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, here we go. Here's a lesson from life and history, because again, it's just repeating itself, and nothing will be done.
Congressmen left through back doors and underground tunnels to avoid confrontations. The situation had come to a head.
Underground tunnels, yeah, what I've already mentioned, yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's what they do, and they disappear. You're still there, and they're not even in the fucking same. They're not. All your protesting is a building. They're not even in the building. They're places. They're safe, having teas, wine, having a drink. Hey. Bit like the old shutdown where Parliament was having parties while you lot were shut down. They were having parties and going, yeah, wicked, and dancing on the dance floor and all that. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, this is what they do. See, they escape through their tunnels and their safe houses. Remember, they've been building these for decades and centuries now, yeah? They've got buildings and tunnels going everywhere. What saves them? The elite.
The president ordered the evacuation of the veterans from downtown Washington.
Now you bring in the troops. When MacArthur moved his troops to the affected area, he knew exactly what he was going to do. And he adorned himself in his dress uniform along with his major.
And that's what they're going to call it, the affected area. The affected area in that town, the affected area in that city needs to be sorted out. So send in the, first of all, like I said, they'll send in the police. Do you know what I mean? The police can't handle it. And obviously they call in the Freemasons and make them police specials that then make up the numbers. That makes you look like you're outnumbered, yeah? But if that fail in that, then they bring in the army, and the army will shut you down. Because they control the army as well. Do you see what I mean? And that's how it goes all the way up the pyramid. And the more you put them under pressure to take the power away from them, the more dangerous it gets for you guys, the profane. Watch.
Dwight D. Eisenhower.
The force stepped off at 4:30 p.m. More than 200 cavalrymen spread out across Constitution and Pennsylvania avenues. Behind them came 400 infantrymen, followed up by tanks and armored vehicles.
The cavalrymen, one of whom is Major Patton, have got their sabers out.
The soldiers donned gas masks and without warning began hurling gas grenades at the veterans. The troops advanced, some jabbing with bayonets.
It's war, the greatest concentration of fighting troops in Washington since 1865.
I knew something was going to happen, that we might be attacked. And I had a press card, so I passed the police lines, and then I saw the soldiers advancing into the camp. And when confronted with this, the men all stood there and said, "Stand firm as long as you can." And they started throwing tear gas.
Tear gas was just burning my face. I was trailing behind my dad, and he kept hollering, "Come on, boy, come on, boy."
Marchers were choking from the gas, just like the battlefields in France.
And so they're being forced out of their shacks by smoke bombs and tear gas, hurled by the troops who have been called out by the President of the United States.
I've never seen anything like it. They systematically went down the line, burned up all the tents and all the possessions of the people there.
See, burn up the... See, so even though you fought in their wars, yeah, the people, the elite, you know, they don't give two monkeys. So long as you are a servant to their will and their way, they don't care. You lot can fight all day long. Yeah, their wars, and they'll get the gold, they'll get the oil, they'll get the coal, they get all the land, and they don't give two monkeys about you, because this proves the point on it. But you will still go, they call a war now, everyone will go marching to war, everyone, for these people, a minor fucking 30, even if there's 100 people, they're now going to kill millions of people, because it's their war. Do you see what I mean?
I was thinking of Herbert Hoover when this happened, because his election was in 3 months. I thought this would be the finish of Hoover.
The orders of the president must be obeyed. And the roaring flames sound the death knell to the fantastic bonus army. In the shadow of the beautiful dome of the Capitol of the United States of America.
The veterans did not believe the country for which they had fought would ignore the plight into which the Depression had placed them. Many did not believe that United States troops would take the field against them.
By early evening, most of the marchers had been driven across a drawbridge that led to their main camp.
The president does not want MacArthur to cross the bridge. And MacArthur disregards the order. Eisenhower later says that he saw this happen. MacArthur says, I cannot bother with pieces of paper during a military operation. And so he crosses the bridge.
All through the camp were scenes of panic.
My dad says, let's get the hell out of here. The soldiers are going to kill us.
Then troops began to set fire to their wooden shacks.
Now, let me get this straight, okay? Now, he disobeyed an order. Did anything happen to him for disobeying that order? Of course it didn't, because he's a Freemason. Do you see what I mean? But the important thing there, right, yeah, and which is I must stress, yeah, is again, right, when you've got Freemasons in control, you don't have to follow orders. You do what the Freemasons want. Do you know what I mean? So he disobeyed an order. Did anything happen to him? No. You know what I mean? Because the Freemasons protected him. So long as he get the end result, what the Freemasons want is the shh, we can't have this. That's all they care about. And who gets hurt or murdered or killed in the process doesn't matter. Okay? Watch this. This is you in your protests. You know what I mean?
One reporter wrote, the blaze was so big it lit the whole sky. A nightmare come to life. The president looked out a window of the White House in the direction of the fire, then retired for the night.
And the roaring flames sound the death knell to the fantastic bonus army that ends so disastrously in the shadow of the Capitol of the United States of America.
The morning after the bonus rout, public sentiment took a dramatic turn against Herbert Hoover. If the expulsion needed a human face, it came in the person of Joe Angelo, whose story was published across the nation.
Joe Angelo gets the Distinguished Service Cross for saving Patton's life on the battlefield. The next morning, Angelo comes to the burned-out field to see Patton. And Patton says, take this man away. I don't want to see this man.
The BEF was broken up. The men returned to some city or other, there to roam the streets, hopelessly seeking work or to shuffle in bread lines. There they remain, crying examples not of the need for the bonus, but of the need for a new American system.
Yeah, a new system that isn't to do with Freemasonry, because that's what ran that. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm on about. This is what Freemasonry do. I only come upon this video the other day, so I wasn't even aware of it. But I knew, you know, I've done posts on it before of people that do protests, you know, like you look at the Spanish, how they protest. Anyone who protests, you know, it doesn't matter what it is, you will get killed and you will be crucified. Simple as that, you know. I know that go back decades and centuries, and they've learned how to quell the peasants and the profane, yeah? They're just better at it today, where they haven't got to use lethal force. But they will do, I promise you. Once you get down to the nitty-gritty, they will do. They've done it already. Look at the tank in Tiananmen Square. Yeah? Or Boadicea, Spartacus. William Wallace. Do you see what I mean? You go up against these people, they will squash you. You know what I mean? And that's simple as that. And they've done it all through history. That's all Freemasonry. Right, anyway, moving along. Now this lady here, again, she's getting, you know, roast by like, I don't know, half a dozen coppers. But this again, this is how they come in their numbers, yeah, and roast you out of your house. Obviously she's calling them out as Freemasons, you know what I mean? She know they're corrupt, blah, blah, blah. So she's speaking a lot of Don Whiz, do you know what I mean? But I'll let you listen to it anyway, and have a great day, my sugar puffs. And what I want you to imagine, right, because this girl's shouting out the Freemasons. Now, I don't know why they're there or anything like that, you know, so I can't judge whether these people, whether the police should be there or not. The point of the video is this. Imagine these police were SS and had guns, and then they come and spring on you, you know, come and spring on you during the night, yeah, while you're asleep. All of these policemen, all on the same agenda, these Freemasons, yeah, you know, because this is what they are. They're Gestapo, do you know what I mean? And this is the frightening thing. They've got the jump on you, because you don't, as a profane person, we don't think of them, we don't look at them, that we're going to oust them out, you know, go after them or any of this thing. But they do. And if they ever took it, and they will, that, you know, where you're going to take the power away from them, these are the people that are come at your door, and they're the ones that are going to have the guns. Do you know what I mean? These are the ones that are going to have the guns, the authority to shoot you, take you down. And this is what they're actually doing, what the SS did in Germany, and that's it. And they're Freemasons, you see. Watch. I'll let you play it a bit more. I won't play it all.
Don't start waving your arms, man. She's not going near her. If you're better, go away. If you're better, go away. Go away. You little nod. No, she's staying there, sir. I'm just staying there. Yes, she is, you fucking mug. I don't mean I'm mug on you as well, boy. Trust me, lad. You won't take any me, pal, because I will have your biscuit.
You're fucking paid those lawyers.
Yeah, they are the little nonsense. Why do you go and get a little nonsense? Why do you go and get a little nonsense? Why do you go and get a nonsense? Don't fucking lay your finger in my a fucking miner. That's what you like doing, you bastard, touching miners.
What?
Best get off me now, because I can't tell until you fuck off.
I'll let Zeke
You did to make yourself feel better. You're right, in that fucking race, you're right now. Has he got your legs on her? Oi, fuck it, get your fucking legs off her. She's kicking out me. Get your fucking legs off, you little people. Oi! I'm not going over it, you fuck off, you. Here, I don't know, you little bastard as well. You little fucking bastard, yeah? Don't look at me like that, bro, I'm telling you. I'll take you off your fucking feet, bro. Yeah, get off of him, what are you doing?
So yeah, they just get that little boy and throw him out. I'm sure that's assault, but nothing will happen to the police, obviously, because they'll all shut up and nothing will be said. Do you know what I mean? Again, this is what's happening though in you know, how they've infiltrated everything. The police are now just a Masonic force against the profane peoples, you know what I mean? And they're getting away with it all the time because we're isolated, we're on our own, yeah? These are working as teams, yeah? A working unit. You got to, you know, this is what I'm saying. You're not, you know, these ain't like just individuals. These are a unit, a team of people specifically put together by Freemasons to quell the profane. You know what I mean? And if they target you, they, like I said, they can put you away. And again, I could show you video upon video where they've, you know, put, you know, like they say they've busted someone for drugs. Yeah. Say there's like 15 bags of drugs. They'll only hand in 5 bags of drugs. Do you know what I mean? The other 10 get sold back onto the streets. Do you know what I mean? Bags of money, you know, all of that. And that's in the records. You know, remember, this is your police. You know what I mean? They're doing that. I haven't done that. It's all in the records. You know, of what they've done, the corruptibility. You know, and then you got the Freemasons going. You know, that's not a fucking fallacy. That's what you're up against. Freemason corruption, because they are a unit behind this unit in this house.
You know, he just launched him out there. Launched him. Leo, hey. I don't want to live. I want female officers here. I want female officers here right fucking now. No, get out. Fucking happening. Can't stand you. Do you know what Freemasons means, eh? Do you know what Freemasons means? Eh? Come on, clever bastard. You're doing training. That's what Freemasons mean. Come on. No comment, no, yeah, you fucking do. You know exactly what I fucking mean. Yeah.
See what I mean? She started talking about the Freemasons, and straight away he's going, I don't know what you mean and that. But he knows exactly what she means, because they're all Freemasons. Do you see what I mean? And that's the thing you've got to wake up to. These people are not to be believed or trusted. Do you know what I mean? Because they are Freemasons working without their aprons on. Do you know what I mean? And that's all it is in every town and city. You know, I mean, like I said, I've got them talking about murdering me, and I've got them talking about putting me away for 30, 40 months. Do you know what I mean? Because they know if I go to jail, they can. It doesn't take a lot of spice or drugs to kill someone in a jail. Do you know what I mean? It makes a life as, you know, a man who's got a long term or a long record who's not going to get out. It makes their life easier, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? If you're paid a certain amount of money, and that's delivered on the nail, do you know what I mean? You're going to get that, see? So they know, you know, the worst place for famed people what to be going is the jail, especially if you're a truther, because these Freemasons will target you within the jail, and that's the sad truth about it, so be careful.
You know exactly what I fucking mean. You're corrupt and wrong, and that's what you are.
They are corrupt and wrong-uns.
Career criminals. You're a fucking copper. I'm saying here, my kid, get your house and then you have guns. It's not fucking thing, no two dogs. Don't get involved. My fucking house, it did. You ugly looking bastard. Your wife's home shagging about now, ain't she? He wouldn't like it. He wouldn't like it. He's on off, isn't it? You know what I mean? Now, you're distressing me because my baby distressed and you fucking get the fucking things off me now. I'm not going to tackle the fire if you don't need to look there. What when you mean? I told you to fucking get the away from me, didn't I? What did I teach you about there? I said I won't speak to you, but I'll speak to these two. No, you think you're fucking piggy bastards. Piggy bastards. Go back to the fucking farm, a lot of you.
Anyway, I forgot to mention, I think this girl is actually pregnant as well, you know, and there's no female officers, if you notice, or anything. She's requested them. They still ain't turned up with female officers. I don't know what the hell's going on here, to be honest, but she has a lot of Dom Wiz that they're Freemasons and they're fucking nonsense and all working on one gang. Do you know what I mean?
That's means long, pigsty. Yeah, getting fucking pig shit all over your fucking cells. You scruffy lot of wrong-uns. You're corrupted, fucked up career criminals. You are. Swear to God. Get shoved in force, don't you think you know it all? You think you know the fucking law, you think you know everything. Do you know what? I want him locked up. We've got a little wrong. He fucking assaulted my son. So this is fucking hands. So you ain't gonna get him. You got to me, you